What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Bo, and we in here with Retrospect. You know what I'm saying? Come on, give me some energy.
Go ahead, Dashia. Go ahead.
Hey, it's Dashia D.
And it's JStan.
And welcome back to the In Retrospect podcast, where we look beyond the surface to find understanding.
Bring you laugh, knowledge, and culture.
So sit back, relax, and join the convo.
Alrighty, today we'll be joined by a special guest. Somebody that's straightforward, doesn't beat around the bush. A very good brother. He gonna tell you what's on his mind. He's not gonna play around. The Clarence Moss, aka C4.
Are you with it already?
Straight out of Miami, Florida.
Yeah, straight out of Miami.
What are y'all, the 305? What's the area code?
You know. You said
it. Oh, you know.
305. You already know.
All right. Justin, the topic or the current event or whichever one you want to start with.
Oh, yeah. So we basically going to be talking about, today we're going to be talking about how parents, or if parents, should be taking care of their adult kids, which leads us to talk about the Dr. Dre situation with his daughter. Dr. Dre, as you all know, is a super producer, has been a super producer / rapper / actor, has done it all, got lots of money. Everybody knows that. But the question is today, should he be taking care of his adult daughter that all of us have possibly seen this whole issue or this whole story that's been going on with her being somewhat pushing 40 or is 40? I'm not too sure. I don't know her exact age. That's her business. But should he be taking care of his adult daughter is the question. Yes, Clarence. Should he be taking care?
I feel they're not obligated to. I don't feel like he's obligated to take care of her. As far as like allowance goes, like you said, she's pushing 40. She may be 40. I'm pretty sure he set her up enough to not have to need him at that age. You know what I'm saying? He's a multi-millionaire, a mogul. So I know he set her up for anything. Probably got songs in her name. You know how to.
Yeah, I know exactly how some of those people in power, how they usually set their kids up to have some residual income steady come in, but it doesn't seem like that's the case here, man. Sounds like she done ran through it all, and he just cut her off. Is that right or wrong?
I feel like that's his choice.
It's his choice.
I think it is his choice, but I feel like there have been so many conversations about let's create generational wealth, let's build.
What
and
is
I feel like because I keep hearing this conversation over and over again, and isn't the point of creating this is so that you're setting up your children and their children and their children, so that by the time they get to adulthood, they are not trying to get it out the mud, for lack of better words. Like they don't have to work as hard as you did. And so with that being said, I feel like Dr. Dre, is he not a billionaire?
Not yet. He close. But see, the thing is, though, you also have a lot of people that have a lot of money. Like, I'm not saying it's becoming a norm, but you do hear stories about it. For instance, you have Jackie Chan and his son. You know Jackie Chan, the fella that was in all these Rush Hour movies, the co-star, the Chris Tucker. He has all this money, and he already said he's not leaving a dime to his son.
And I find that selfish. I find that so selfish, because if you have all of this money, why wouldn't you set up your kids so that obviously you want them to work for things, but at the same time, there are certain things they don't have to struggle with. Like you could get them a house. They don't have to pay on the house, but they still need to get a job. They still need to do certain things, but you can set them up. Come on. What are you doing with all this money?
I feel like he probably set her up because we're not hearing about this until now. So I feel like there probably were things that were going on in the past, and he probably was buying certain things and doing certain things, and then he stopped. But you know, he also had that issue with the wife. That's him, right?
Doctor. Yeah.
Well, who knows what his money looking like right now? He probably had to cut some corners. Like, look, I can't give you $10,000 a week no more.
But you got to think about it. If she's only pushing 40 or whatever, and she was saying her father hasn't, helped her out for the last couple of years, blase. Question is, so obviously he was there for all your 20s, you know what I'm saying? And then you have multiple kids, all right? So we don't know about the kid situation, and you know what I'm saying? So if he's been around that long, obviously something has transpired to make him feel as if though he shouldn't be helping you anymore.
So I'm reading it now. They said he's worth about 800 million. He's paying his ex-wife 300K a month in spousal support. And he was helping his daughter up until last year, January 2020.
Wow, and so less than the 3
But
years.
now she's homeless and she has 4 kids.
Folk.
Oh, okay, that kind of changes a little bit. Like, I don't feel like he should be taking care of her in a sense, but if she's homeless, he got enough money to get her a little
Change the game.
Hello?
3-bedroom apartment.
Honestly, even if it was something like, okay, you're going to be my assistant, because I'm sure he's always on the move, like business calls, meetings. If he wants her to work for it, I would say, listen, you're my assistant. You're going to work for this money that I'm giving you. You're not just going to lay up on the couch, eat Fritos, and I'm just giving you rent money. That's not what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can see that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he didn't just wake up and be like, oh, I ain't paying that rent this month. Better figure it out. He probably gave her heads up. Like, you're going to have to get a normal job. You're going to have to start a business. You're going to have to do something. And who knows what.
But my question is, do y'all have the same stance when it comes to regular people, regular folk whose parents are not millionaires?
Everyday working person.
Yeah, everyday working.
The everyday working person. Hitting that 9 to 5 and got a side hustle. The everyday person.
Uh-huh.
I mean, me personally, I feel as if though, if you are a parent and your parents didn't set you up with anything, then obviously you start from scratch. Because a lot of this generational wealth talk that is always had, it takes generations to create. And then in some cases, you may have somebody that comes along and can break it right then and there with their generation. But most of the time, that is a rarity. So when we always hear about, oh yeah, I'm gonna make these millions of dollars, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, you know, sometimes that stuff takes time. Like, a lot of people don't realize that a lot of people run into all this money because somebody either passed away through insurance, people run into money, or if somebody left something behind for the next generation, and then they're gonna have to figure out a way to either invest it or parlay it into something bigger. And then that's how that generational wealth, starts to come along. But for the everyday working person obligated to take care of their adult kids, I mean, everybody, in my opinion, everybody's situation is different, okay? And what I mean by that is this: you got some parents that don't have nothing to give but knowledge and but an example of what not to do. You know what I'm saying? So they are trying to give you the best that they got, but they're not obligated to take care of you in a sense.
Oh, I think it's all about doing what you can do. Like what Justin was saying, some people ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? Some people, when they're on welfare themselves, it's not to knock people who are on, getting assistance, but they getting assistance themselves. How they go hand out assistance when they getting assistance themselves? You know what I'm saying? Luckily for me, I was blessed enough to have a family who was able to help me out, like in college, help me with, a little money here and there. I had a home to come back to after I left college for COVID and things like that. We own a home, but like, I also have that other side. I seen that other side where it turned into the opposite, where the children have to stay home, get a job to help mom with the rent, help mom with the groceries, because like you said, that generational wealth that just don't happen overnight unless you become like a football player, a rapper, or like, cause these white folk, these people who really have, like you said, take generational, they have generations of knowing how the game go. You know what I'm saying? They get the policies, they own the homes, they own land. Black folk, we was behind the curve with all that stuff. So now if they make it even harder to make that generational wealth. See, I like, for instance, our degrees, our undergrad don't mean much no more. Well, mine, y'all are above me. But then, you know what I'm saying?
No, man, everybody is in the same boat.
I guess I agreed that people can only do what they can. However, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I feel like in the Black community, it is say what's on your mind. It's very common for parents to be like, once you're 18, you're getting out my house.
Or going
to school, like you either going to school, you're going to the military, you're getting a job, you're doing something, but you're getting out this house. And I don't feel like that's fair. And I don't feel like that's right. Because at 18, you are not prepared to adult. I know that legally you are an adult, but you're not prepared to be an adult. Your age still ends in teen. I mean, it says it there. But also, I honestly feel like it should be more accepted that most people need to stay home until they're like early 20s, to be honest, or mid 20s. I mean, there's been a lot of talk.
Until they ready to leave. Not, you know what I'm saying? We should have another one.
Yeah, that too.
But you also got you got some cultures, real quick, Dash. You have some cultures, like I will say, like for instance, the Italian culture, like a lot of them have like families, like their whole families are all in the same home. Like you have the mother, the grandmother, the great grandmother, all the grandkids, the kids, everybody lives together. You know what I'm saying? And like it's not their obligation to do it, it's just their culture. You know what I'm saying? The way that they're brought up, most of them live together as far as family wise goes, the way that they have their family, you know, how they build everything, their structure. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like I know a couple people that I've worked with in the past who say that they have their adult kids that still live with them, and their adult kids are like 38, 39, 40. They all live in the same house. And like I've had this discussion with a lot of my peers that some may say that this may be the brokest generation of like people coming, like the young kids, young people. You know what I'm saying? Some may say that, and I'm not saying it is, but some may say that we are and still may be the youngest generation that, you know, that has been seen.
We're in debt. I mean, we're in debt from college, mortgage prices, housing, all of those types of things are way more expensive. We get paid much less compared to, you know, what we would be paid.
Well, yeah, I know what you're saying. So, the price, the wage is the same that it was back then. We're getting paid the same,
right?
But everything is going up.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're broke. So we would need help. We would need help from our parents, grandparents, you know, whomever. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know why it's this shaming thing for people who need to stay home before they can get on their feet. And I don't know why it's such a normal thing in our community for people to get kicked out their mama's house at 18. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
But also when I coach you, I have to remember that it looks bad when you still in the home. Like, oh, he still stay with his mama. He still stay with his dad. You know what I'm saying? His mom doing this for him. His dad doing this for them. For some reason, it became a negative thing. And I don't understand that at all.
I mean, it only became negative when you a grown person trying to bring back, you know what I'm saying? You trying to do grown people things at your parents' house. That's where the issue comes into play. It's like, listen, man, don't be bringing people to the house when you trying to do grown people things. And it's just like, listen, that's your mama house, or that's your daddy house, or that's your guardian house, or whomever watching over you. It's not your house. And the first thing they're gonna say is, don't disrespect their house. That's what you have in some. Huh? Would you say some cases? I was about to say all cases. Please tell me how you disagree, Daisha. Please disagree with me. Please
disagree. So here's the thing. Because that goes into like now your parents are basically still treating you like a child. Yeah. I understand that you're living home and you want to respect their house, but what does that mean? Does that mean you now have a curfew at 25? Does that mean that you can't date at 25? Like, what does that mean to respect their house? So if I'm in a relationship with somebody and I bring them back and I live with my mama, I mean, that's different. That's different. I'm just saying, that's a lot different than me just bringing in different people in the house. Now that's doing the most. But if it's one consistent person, I don't see what the harm is of that. I'm just saying, I don't see what the harm is of that. Why are you breathing hard over there?
I think you get stuck in limbo when you're older, but you still being in the same home from where you were brought up at. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't just flip the switch and change the rules, because it's not your rules to change. You know what I'm saying? If your mom accustomed to you washing the dishes, doing all these chores that kids supposed to do, and then you get to a certain age, like, I don't want to wash them dishes. I ain't put them dishes in the, you know what I'm saying? You get grown. Smelling your stuff around. I'm grown. But you can't be fully grown, and you can't tell them how you go operate when you're in their home. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to respect their home. And I agree with, like, it depends. It goes by the situation, because maybe your mom wouldn't care if you bring X, Y, Z in a home, but some people would be like, respect my home. You know what I'm saying? Respect my home. But
I think if you have older parents, then they look at you a little more funny, depending on the things that you do. And my parents are in their 40s. So I have friends whose parents are in their 60s plus, and they're religious, and they're Black. They just can't win. They just
You
can't
can't
win.
win with that group of people anyway.
Listen,
So,
Justin.
Oh no, I completely agree. I mean, every family dynamic is different. I mean, that's all I would say. Like, everybody's family dynamic is different. Everybody can do more things at one house than somebody could do at another house. Because you got some parents that are really laid back and cool about it. They'll be like, "Oh, if so-and-so coming over, that's fine with me. Just let me know. You know, let me know, and I'll be out the way." But I'll tell you one thing: just don't, mess up my stuff. But other than that, they can come on through. Daisha, don't do that. Don't do that, Daisha.
I wanted to go back to something Clarence said that we didn't really touch on like that. You basically said that there's a stigma, like with going back to your parents' house if you're grown, right? Now, I feel like some of that is because of social media and people flexing on social media, like, I got my new place, I got my house, I got my car, and I'm getting the bag. And so in their mind, just deal with the voices, okay? That's how I express myself. So I think some of that is that because people want to live up to some kind of expectation that they've made for themselves and no one else has. And then the flip side of that is what y'all kind of just said, you want to do what you want to do. I guess for me, I can get more personal. So like before I moved to Atlanta, I was living in Tennessee for 2 years. Now I knew that I wanted to get out of Tennessee. That was not going to be my forever home for many different reasons. And I could have moved to Charleston and stayed in Charleston probably until the end of this year, honestly, and then moved to Atlanta, or I could move from Tennessee straight to Atlanta. Now, would it have been a more financially sound decision for me to move home for a little bit? Yeah, before moving to Atlanta. However, I returned home, I think for like 2-3 weeks. It was fine, but it's hard to go from having your own space to then being in the house with your parents all over again. And yeah, I just didn't want to do that. I did not want to do that. So I was on Indeed all day long. What did you say?
Could you explain to us what you mean by it being a little weird going from having your own space to living with your parents again?
Explain it?
Yes, could you elaborate, please?
Justin.
So first of all, I'm an introvert. So I recharge by myself. And so when I was in Tennessee, although I had a roommate, like I would go to work, go to the gym. I just had my routine. I didn't have to be bothered by people if I didn't feel like being bothered by people. And also dating. All right. If I'm in a relationship, then the person who I was dating, they could come to my apartment whenever they chose to, spend multiple days there whenever they chose to, and it was fine.
Yeah.
Then to go back to Charleston and try to do the same thing, I'm like, I could, but I don't want to. Like, this is awkward. I want to be able to walk around in my robe and not care about it, or wear whatever I want to wear, huh?
Or lack thereof.
Exactly. So I just want to just be free in my own space, have my routine, and then check in with people when I choose to.
Yeah, I understand that. It's like the little things, even like with the robe thing, or like you want to play your music a certain, you know what I'm saying? What if I wake up at 2 a.m. and I want to listen to music? I can't.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? It's like the little things like that. And I completely understand what you're talking about, Daisha. Because I kind of had that situation. Like I was in college and I came back. But even in college, you had a roommate, but it's a little bit, you know what I'm saying? It's not your parent. You know what I'm saying? So, but then I also wanted to go back when you were saying social media kind of started this. I felt like it goes back even further than that. Mm-hmm. And maybe even because, like great grandparents and before they were having children 15, 16.
Yeah, a lot younger.
They was doing a lot of what we consider adult things as children. So it's like grandma looking at you at 18, she looking back like, boy, I done had 4 kids. I was raising the neighbor's kids. I was cooking and cleaning and doing this every day. And you still staying here? She made a way, but you know what I'm saying? But times have changed and people not looking, they not putting that in perspective when they talking about it.
When you hear a lot of parents talk to people or to their kids, or even to other people's kids, it'll be like the biggest mistakes you can make is having a child with the wrong person, or getting married to the wrong person. And be like, what do you mean by that? And it'll be like, they'll financially be set back, as well as the home will be, a little bit all over the place. So, I mean, when you actually put some of that stuff in perspective, it's like, it's a little, it's different dynamics to everybody. Like some people come from a great situation from those things. But when you talk about, parents being obligated to take care of their kids, if dysfunction is created from that, then there's going to be a problem.
I hope I don't derail us, but going back to something you said about the whole being careful with who you have kids with, who you marry, that is honestly one of the reasons why I do not understand why millennials are in this debate about these traditional roles and like men having to pay all the bills and X, Y, and Z. Y'all, we can't afford that. The average person is not going to be wealthy. The average person is not going to be making six figures. So you mean to tell me that on a 40,000+ salary, you're gonna be able to afford all of these bills plus more? That makes zero sense to me. I don't understand why we're in this new millennials are in this new mindset that dudes are able to afford that. I mean, if you like it, I love it. But for me personally, I'm not going to ever set up my future husband to think that he has to have that entire burden financially when I am working and I have my own salary as well.
And we all stay in places where rent is crazy.
Right.
Like they have 1 bedrooms in Miami that's $2,000.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't finna stay there. I ain't even gonna look at it. I don't care how nice it is. So,
hey man, I'm saying, bro, like these prices on everything are going up. Like I'm in Charleston, Dashia's in Atlanta, you in Miami. These places are booming right now. Like these prices are crazy, like next level different. For everyone that's listening and watching this, like it's different out here. Like when we say these things, and it's just like, what Dashia said, going back to what she said was like, why do we put, all these expectations on ourselves as far as 6-figure income, house, the man supposed to pay all this? Like that just goes back to, what I'm saying? Like our parents being obligated to take care of us. They need to tell us what it is and what it's not. Or our guardian, whoever's watching over us, supposed to tell us what it is and what it's not. What's supposed to be, what's the word? What you're supposed to be going through, like at this age that you're in. Because if you actually listen to them and they'll tell you what they actually had going on at the same age that you are now, you'd be surprised. You probably have accomplished a lot more than they did. And they are probably a little bit better off in life. Sometimes they ain't as better off in life as you are. But granted, with that being said, you got to understand all this pressure you putting on yourself, you're doing a lot better than you think you are.
I'm just saying, like, it kind of ties in with the whole obligation thing where we compare ourselves to others with every aspect of our lives. And it might be what's good for the goose may not be good for the gander. You know what I'm saying? So like, I might have to stay, you're funny. I might have to stay with my parents. Well, I don't anymore, luckily, but I can't, like I said, I came back, I'm 23 years old. Who knows how long I was going to be. I would plan on, like you were saying, I would plan on leaving as soon as possible because of those things we were talking about. Like, I feel like I'm grown, so I have to step up, you know what I'm saying? But I'm never going to put myself in a situation where I'm not going to be financially able to do things that I want to do comfortably. And I feel like people step out of there because they want to compare themselves to certain people and they're not ready for a certain lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Because like we were talking about rent and we ain't even talking about car insurance, almost cursed, gas. Because gas about to make me go buy a horse.
Listen.
I'm going to go get a horse.
How much is gas in Miami?
Right now at $3.50.
Okay, we at like $3.30. It is ridiculous.
Yeah, y'all moving faster.
We about $3.20.
That shit is that stuff, man.
You good?
I'm ready to take the car back. I'm about ready to sleep in the woods somewhere because
it's crazy.
Well, how do you? Okay, so I understand what you're saying, but there are a lot of parents out there who are like, well, back in my time, we had to do this, this, and that. It's almost like they're envious of the fact that you didn't have to struggle as much as they did. But I thought that was the point.
Yeah.
That's not the point. That's the problem. Correct. No. Let it start it off, but that's the problem.
What's the problem?
You want your kids to struggle like you did. That's what parents want. That's what a lot of parents want their kids to do for some reason. It's like, oh, that's struggle. You know what I'm saying? Pressure creates diamonds. Does it? Does pressure create diamonds?
Create
You know,
diamonds.
everybody ain't a diamond.
Everybody, some people are cold.
Hey, bro,
Mm-mm.
I'm telling you.
But why do you think that is? Like, why do you think that there are parents, not all of them, but there are parents out there who want you to struggle, who feel like it's not fair to them that they've worked hard for something, they've gotten it out the mud, and you need to learn too? Why do you think they think like that?
Okay, I'll give you an analogy. The best way that can explain why parents, or some parents, because every parent does not think like this, that some parents think like that is, think about somebody on a job that's been working a job for 50 years. They have worked their way up to get into a certain amount of pay, right? And then you have somebody that just got hired on last week, and they're getting paid the exact same amount as them. They didn't earn it. Why are they getting paid the same as me? That ain't right. That ain't right.
Is that not hating?
You
can't get mad at my situation.
But listen, this is the analogy that I'm giving, because the issue is, it'll be said that it wasn't earned. It was given.
So
that's what I'm getting at.
I get what you say.
I understand. I understand exactly. Just tell me what you say. What you think about that, Clarence? I understand.
I felt that because at my job is something like that going on right now, where it's like the older people are like mad that younger people are becoming supervisors, but then at the same time, they don't want to be supervisors. They're going to ask y'all first, and then they say, I don't want the job. But then they get mad that the younger people getting it. You're a hater. You just mad, you're just hating for what? And then, like, what happens to me, my blessings is not stopping your blessings. You still being blessed by having this job, by having this salary, by having you in a place where you can provide for whomever. Why are you hating that I finally got the same opportunity you got? There's enough money out here for everybody. There's enough blessings and opportunity out here for everybody. You don't gotta hate.
And also, there should be a difference between a stranger, essentially your coworker is a stranger, and your child that you gave birth to. Why are you jealous of your child? That doesn't make sense.
Maybe it's human nature is what I'm saying. Because you could, it's the comparison thing that we were talking about. Social media, your parents probably comparing themselves to you too.
You look at your child and you start to realize like, oh, this might be something. You know what I'm saying? Instead of breeding it to become something bigger and what you see it could possibly be, you do have some parents out there that are like, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? They're going to need that, you know what I'm saying? That, you know, they're going to have to drag, you know, get it out the mud, and they're going to build that mentality by actually getting it out the mud. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the disconnect is. You don't need to create a get it out the mud mentality by actually going through the mud. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to create that mentality by actually, you know what I'm saying, getting dirty. That mentality can be created in a plethora of ways, because everybody thinks it's got to be done a certain way. There's, you know, a bunch of ways to do stuff. Like right now, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people be like, oh, I need to make X amount of dollars and I need to do it by this time. It's like, okay, you get $1 million now, you know, that's your gross salary for the year. And then I do something, I get $1 million in one day. We both made the same amount of money in a year. But you mad at me because I made it on the last day of the year? That don't make no sense. And what I'm getting at is this. Yeah, it went over your head. It did. What I'm getting at is this, bro. It's the same, like the same amount of work is being done. Like both of you made $1 million. There's no need to get upset with the other person. You all on equal playing ground at the end of the day.
Okay.
I was going to say, I do wonder, how does that look to appreciate hard work if you have been spoon-fed? Because I will say, even though I was spoiled with like certain like material things, my childhood looked a lot different than my sister, who is 11 right now. Small examples. We went to completely different schools. I went to Shakora, and if you're from Charleston, you know that's in the making.
Poverty-ridden area. For those who do not know.
Activities happened there. I was exposed to things, but that's the thing. It was normal to me, right? My sister goes to school in like near Ladson, so her school is more diverse, and she's just not exposed to the same things. I mean, when I went out to eat with with my mother and stepdad as a kid, you get one meal, that's it. There's no appetizers, there's no desserts. That's the meal, right? I went out to eat with my parents and my sister. They ordered 3 appetizers. Everybody got a meal. Everybody got dessert. I said, hold up. What? Y'all got a bonus? Like, what's...
No, we eating good. We eating good.
I said, what's going on? But like something as small as that, very different. So my sister, there are certain things that she just expects to happen. Like she expected to have the most updated iPhone. When they want to go get fast food, the child said, let's go to Carrabba's. She just, her expectations are a lot different than mine were as a child. I was excited to go to Wendy's. Listen.
Right. Do we feel as if though parents are obligated to take care of an adult child with multiple kids? You know what I'm saying? And when I say parents feeling obligated, I said obligated to take care of that adult kid, their spouse, and then they have multiple kids. You know what I'm saying? How would that look for those that may be listening? Would that say, would you make them pay rent? Or would you just be taking care of them because you want to see your grandkids?
Yeah, I'm going to read the definition of obligation to help with this answer. Okay, so an act or course of action to which a person is morally or legally bound, a duty or commitment, a debt of gratitude for a service or favor. So, yeah, I'll let Clarence go first. Unless you weren't ready.
No, I'm ready. I just don't like the word obligated for like a grown-up. I don't like the word because it's like forced. And like you should want to, you know what I'm saying? But it keep going back to you can't do more than what you can do. You know what I'm saying? Some parents don't have it. Some people, and if you do have it, it still doesn't, you should not do what you don't want to do. At the end of the day, it's their home, it's their money, it's their rules, their life. And for me, I'm blessed that my parents did feel like they wanted to and they had the financial stability to do that for me. But and they wanted to, like morally, you should not want your child to be homeless and you're a millionaire. You should not want your child to be homeless and you getting paid $10 an hour. If you have a home, your child should have a home. But you're saying like if the child has children, that's what you were talking about?
Yeah, so the child has children.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is it the parent's responsibility of that child to take care of the child and the child's kids?
My question is, where's the child's parents, their parents? Because they're obligated to take care of them kids. You had children, you laid down and had them. Because none of us got kids, right?
Oh yeah, everybody right here speaking with no kids.
And we happy. So because we feel like we something you want to tell us?
Right.
Nah, I don't have any. We're not doing that right now. No.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to, but we had that mentality. Like we have to do. I know for myself, I got a checklist right now. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be stable for myself, and then once you move up, you start doing stuff that you want kids, go have kids. But if you're not, and that's another thing where our parents, and probably not our parents, but parents in the past generations, I find in this generation, they're having the kids too early. But that also goes with the stigma of like you have to live, you have to move, you got to like everybody act like they on a time clock. They got to get a house. I mean, they got to get their own apartment at a certain age. They got to have kids at a certain age. They got to have a husband at a certain age. Like slow down and let your life operate the way that God intended for your life to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm big on that. I feel like God has a plan for everybody. And just because you see the next person doing a certain thing or taking care of whoever they want or being taken care of, that may not be in your book. It may not be in your story. So that's how I look at it.
I think that's easier for some than others to accept. I know for me, I can speak for myself. That's a hard pill to swallow when it comes to certain things. Other things I could be more patient for. Other things I'm just like, all right, like when is it gonna happen?
Yeah, you could be impatient about it, but it's still gonna come when it's gonna come, regardless if we pushing for it or not. You still work hard. Because they say faith without works. So you gotta put in the work, but God at the end of the day is God's decision.
I agree with Clarence that like morally, I feel like if your parents have it and have a home, then I would hope that you have a home. You're not gonna be left out in the cold. Even if you have kids, even if you like, it's going to be rough. However, I do think that if that's going to be the case, you need to be actively working to get on your feet. I do not think that that's a license to come lay up, watch TV, eat Fritos. I don't know why I keep going to Fritos, but like Right. Like, I feel like you need to be on Indeed, doing interviews, trying to get a job, trying to get on your feet again. Now, everybody does not have parents who have a home. So in those,
I'm sorry. You said it so like who have a home.
You just went completely left. You was like, parents should take care of their kids. They should do this. And they should do this. But you need a job.
But you do need it. You ain't finna, I ain't finna, because they're not raising you again. I guess that's what they should saying. They raised you already.
yeah,
They did that part already. They're not doubling back and raising you. They're just assisting you now. Like now it's like, let me help you get on your feet.
exactly.
Not let me turn you into a working citizen. Like, come on now. You too old to not.
But for those people, like for those parents, because there are parents who do not have a home, like that's just real talk. They don't. So in those cases, then it's like, okay, well, then who can you call on? Can you call on a brother, a sister,
Good Lord.
grandparent?
That's all you're gonna have.
No, I think family should help family, but have boundaries, parent or not.
Everybody is not deserving of, I ain't gonna say deserving of your help, but everybody can't be helped. I got some family members that if they call me asking me for $20, I'm like, I can't, because if the roles were reversed, and you don't know what they're doing, it's like it's a lot. Okay, we're gonna leave that alone. Okay,
No, go ahead.
No, okay, it's a lot into helping. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, family, you're supposed to have family, but I got crackhead uncles, I got no deadbeat cousins, you know what I'm saying? Like who don't take care of their kids, and somebody, they'll ask you for $20 for diapers and then turn around and buy weed with it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't help everybody.
But I said with boundaries.
That with boundaries. So it kind of go with what you were saying with if they do have a home, that don't mean you finna be just shacked up in my house. You finna be doing something.
Yeah.
But then that brings the question. I have a question for y'all. What are the limitations that y'all feel that as the child who's getting the help, like what are some of the stipulations that you think should be put in place? You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, we said the job, or if you have like that child who's in and out of jail for, whatever, do you think they still should be coming back home? You know what I'm saying? At 35 years old?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a disclaimer for everyone that may be watching or listening. Yes, these are all coming from the perspective of people that do not have kids, that do not have kids. I will say that one more time, that do not have kids. Well, I just got to keep saying it because, some people may feel some type of way for some people that don't have kids that are speaking on this topic. Now,
that's
what
true.
I am saying,
they might feel totally different because we're not in those shoes, but yeah.
We're not in those shoes. And I just want to let that be known. I understand you're doing your thing, you're making it happen. Do what you can, you know what I'm saying? And do how you believe it should be done. That is all I'm going to say. That is the disclaimer.
But we are talking from the child's perspective who have parents who could help us, and we've seen what a parent can do as an adult. Like as me being an adult, I see what my parents can do for me. So we see from that perspective.
But his question was, what are the stipulations? What are the expectations if you're going to take that assistance?
Well, I feel as if though everything, some people have like, what's the best word to put it? You'll be told to set goals, like, or certain things that are expected or required. Because I found it interesting because I was getting a haircut from my barber probably like a couple months ago when he said that when it comes to a lot of stuff, even with family, that he has contracts, like with any and everything. So it's like in writing of what's expected, what needs to be done. That way there's no confusion when the time comes, when certain dates are hit. So it's just like, listen, it's funny. You find it funny, but when it's in writing,
I understand.
There's no confusion, baby. So you know what I'm saying? So when he said that, I was like, yo, that's crazy. Like he avoids all his confusion by getting everything in writing and having that said person, whomever's involved, sign off on it. He said, it's from an understanding that, yeah, we may be family, but we've made an agreement that's in writing, so there's no confusion when the time comes. And you signed off on it, what fully means that you understood what you stepped foot into. Yes, Station.
I understand, and I don't know if it's just difference between men and women or the fact that I work in social work, but I feel like you can have a contract, but how is that setting that person up for success? All they know is that they have a deadline. Like, are they setting SMART goals like specific goals of like, hey, if you do, we need to do this by this date so that you can make this amount of money and be out at this time? Or is it just you need to ass out by the 30th? Thanks. Like, what does that look like?
But I mean, the common person, I mean, not common person, but the ideal
I'm about to
thing
say
that
common
should
sense
be-
is not common.
Yeah, I know common sense ain't common. That's why I had to reword what I was about to say. So the ideal, you know, I'm saying circumstances that should be within the, you know, the literature should be something along the lines of, you know, holding a job for, you know, a month or whatnot, or 2, or at least a month, I would say. Because if you can hold a job for 3 months, for at least 3 months, you have some type of steady income coming in for whatnot, unless you know, once you get that steady income coming in, then you somewhat are starting to establish yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, SMART goals, all that shit should be implemented if you do decide to go that route of, you know, the contract stuff or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You can do that. I wouldn't do that, me personally, but between me and that person, you know what I'm saying? It's just like you need to, you know, you need to do stuff that's gonna, you know, set you up for success. Like you said, holding a job down for at least a month and stuff like that. And then, you know what I'm saying, putting in towards certain bills. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you staying at my place, yeah, you gotta pay for something. I mean, it is what it is.
I wouldn't require
I mean, ain't no free. I mean, everybody's different, you know what I'm saying? As far as what, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to helping. But as far as if we come from the perspective of a parent that's helping somebody, then it's like, yeah, all right, I need you to get a steady job that shows me that you're starting to move in the right direction, and then move progressively to getting you to where you need to be on your feet and then out of the house type stuff. But if you're talking about taking care of a family member, then it's different in my eyes, because it's just like, listen, I'm gonna make sure you back on your feet. But at the same time, once you start getting steady income, you need to be paying something, because you need to get acclimated back to what the world's like.
So for me, I don't think I would make, and again, I don't have kids yet or a child yet. I'm not having kids, plural, a child. I don't have a child yet. So maybe this will change, but I will say, I don't think I will require that person to pay any bills, because I want you to save every last penny that you have coming in, because the more you're paying on my bills, the longer you have to stay with me. I don't want you to pay any bill. I want you to help out with chores like around the house. That would be lovely. But as far as me saying, nope, you need to pay this bill, no, I'm not doing that, because I want you to save. And then maybe we can talk about budgeting. All of the things leading to you being successful. My goal is for you to never have to return. So I don't want to set it up to be this revolving door, right? So if you need to save for 6 months, and I know that in those 6 months, you're going to make a 180 save and just you have your own, then wonderful. Let's do 6 months and we don't have to revisit this. I don't want to do this 1 month. Every time you come, we do a contract, and here you are every year for 1 month to get back on your feet.
Well, 9 times out of 10, the contract will definitely be a little bit longer than a month. But I do understand what you were saying. I mean, you know, my opinion is I feel as if though in order for them to get acclimated back into the world, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not just going to be saving. You have to pay something when you out on your own.
Yeah, you got to pay application fees, a security deposit, first month's rent.
All that.
Last month's
all this money to pay that, huh?
Last month rent.
Exactly. The prorated rent.
I mean, with this pandemic that we've been dealing with, there have been a lot of people that have moved back in with their parents due to all this stuff with as far as jobs, you know, laying off a lot of folks, and as well as you know, other circumstances coming into play where, you know, people just can't afford their bills anymore because, you know what I'm saying, like their roommate may have, you know what I'm saying, got laid off. Now the roommate can't handle that part of the rent no more. So it's a lot of stuff going on. Like, I forgot the exact percentages, but there have been a lot of adults that have moved back in with their parents within the last 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, we're the brokest generation. That's gonna be the name of this this episode. We broke out here, y'all.
I do have another question. We're talking about we have questions. We're questioning the parents' obligation to take care of the child. Mm-hmm. What if the roles were reversed? What are we talking about?
Is the child obligated to take care of the parent?
If the child obligated to take care of the parent the one that's down on their luck right at the moment, and you're up and you doing what you're supposed to be doing. Well, I ain't gonna say what you're supposed to be doing, but you know, you in a good place, but they're not. Mm-hmm. Are you willing to open up your doors or take care of your parent with them having no obligation?
I am. But again, I just established, like, I feel like family family helps family. Like everybody has a point in time where they're down on their luck. Like that's just life. And I would hope that if I need the help, that they're there to help me as well.
Right. Well, so I will say this as far as, you do hear the notion when a lot of people do run into money, the first thing they say is, oh, I need to take care of mom get a house, or dad get a car, vice versa. Somebody that took care of them is going to get taken care of. That is what we are told, taught, and it's kind of like an unwritten rule that you'll hear about. Like if somebody were to run into money, or any of us or anybody, a lot of people are, taught that, oh, you need to take care of the people that took care of you. But then you have the argument that somebody will say that, well, for wealth to last from generation to generation, and these are these people that are hardcore generational wealth, will say money can't go backwards. Money has to flow down. Money shouldn't be flowing up from backwards. Like I shouldn't be having to take care of my parents, my grandparents, and that when I got to take care of myself and every other generation behind me. You do have that argument, you know what I'm saying? But I feel as if though you should try in some form or fashion, try to take care of the people that, if they are struggling, definitely don't let them fall, because they did what they could to make sure that you got to where you needed to be.
You gonna take care of your parents, Clarence?
Like if I come up on some real money,
yeah.
Okay, I agree with what you were saying about money should not be going backwards. So like what I think I would do is like I will go buy some properties. I will go buy some homes, and I will if I'm rich like that, you mean like, millionaire type status, I'll buy some homes and I'll let my family stay there. But it'll get to the point where if they really down their luck, maybe my mama and my grandma, I might have to get a little 6-bedroom home and they both got to stay there. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that you go back and just buy everybody a home unless you like making some real money. You know what I'm saying? Some real money. But like you gotta you have to put stuff, you gotta get stuff ready for the future. You know what I'm saying? And by having it in your name, it's always going to be yours, and you're still helping them out by giving them a place to stay, maybe not even paying rent. So I don't want my mama to be working if I'm rich now, because like I have my family dynamic is like I have 4 parents in a way, because I have mom and dad, step parents. So like one side of the family is like that how can I say it? They're probably like lower middle class, and then this other side have the upper middle class. So like, and that's a big difference. You know what I'm saying? As far as stability goes. So like when they see me doing certain things and you know what I'm saying, doing what I want to do, I have a very selfish way of thinking. And maybe it's because I'm a middle child, but like I have a very selfish way of thinking. So like I'm never going to compromise myself to help others. Like how you were saying, like with they going back and helping the parent and they looking at you and they're envious about, well, you do this, you doing this for yourself. But yeah, I'm gonna do it for myself before I do it for you. And that's with anything. That's like even with the buying a home thing, I was saying like that's gonna be my house. I'm letting y'all stay there. I'm not going to go back and buy you a home. Like I would say I'm selfish. I don't care. You can call it what you want. I'm a middle child. I had to wiggle my way through this world by myself.
That's what middle children do?
Yeah, because no, they don't pay attention to us.
Or is that what Leos do? I wasn't sure.
Here you go. That question that you kind of asked, is that like a Dacia thing or a Taurus thing? Because, all y'all do is this, run your mouth. That's why, in retrospect, because y'all always talking. We're going to take this out too. You got a little cute comments.
We actually love each other, you guys. We have a love and I was gonna say love-hate relationship, but we actually love each other. It's okay.
It's love-hate over here. 60-40.
I don't think that's selfish though. I don't. Because I think it's similar to what they say on the airplane. Like you put the mask on yourself and then someone else. How can you help somebody else if you're still drowning? Like you have
to jump in the pool and reach in, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So I don't think that's selfish at all, especially if you're still willing to have them in your space. Because to me, that's draining. Like the thought of buying a house and then I have not only my little family, but then I have my extended family in the house with us. I just said at the top of the hour, I'm an introvert. That's a lot.
Some people know how a structure is supposed to be in order for wealth to transfer from generation to generation. And then you do have some You know what I'm saying? Some generations that just don't know. They don't know how certain things flow. They don't know how certain things work. You know, when Clarence was talking about properties, you still have some older generations that'll be like, properties?
You're right.
Put my properties? Put your money in properties? But put that money in a mattress? What? And I understand we sitting here shaking our heads. You might be like, no, ain't no way. That's not that. Yeah, there are some people that believe their money should not be in a bank. Money should not be in real estate.
Out here who don't trust banks.
I'm telling you, it's a lot of things.
What a bank gonna do with your money?
Invested.
It's invested.
And which means they're gonna take your money and put it somewhere else and give you less than 1%. But see, that's a whole nother story for another day. That's a whole nother can of worms. But the gist of what I'm trying to say is that everybody is not educated enough to feel as if though, like, when you say, like, I'm gonna take care of my, my parents or whatever, they may not be able or, able to so-called take care of themselves. If you give them a lump sum of money or if you buy them a home, they may not be able to maintain that. So I understand both sides when somebody's like, oh, I'm gonna move them in with me. That way I can make sure they're straight for real. And if there's an issue, then they're close to me. Now, I see a lot of shaking heads. So
ain't moving with me, nothing. Nothing. Give you a place to stay, but it ain't gonna be with me.
Oh, Lord.
Right. We talked about being introverts.
I said, I mean, at this age, I don't have a choice but for them to come live with me because I don't have the funds to.
That's different. But I'm talking about when you into some money. If I had the choice, I'm way across the country. I'll call you every day.
So let us know what you think. Are parents responsible for taking care of their adult children? And if so, what does that look like? And would you take care of your parents if you came into some money? So I was gonna say thank you, Clarence, for joining us today for this conversation. I have been Dashia D.
And I've been JStan.
Join us every Wednesday.
And remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
You got anything else to say? How can they find you on social media, Clarence?
Oh, me? Follow me on Instagram at kvng.c4. That's about the only social media I really be on besides Snapchat, but y'all not ready for that. So no, I'm just playing. But yeah, just follow me and see what I may have things in the up and coming. Y'all might